right, what's up everybody? Hopefully you all are well. Let's do a quick audio and visual check. So if you can hear me and if we are streaming in 1080p, just give us a thumbs up in the chat and we will get started shortly. Thank you so much for joining us. Wishing everybody a Happy New Year. All right, looks like we're good. Well, good evening, everybody. And I want to welcome you all back to Walks on Wall Street. Today is December 30th, 2023. It is a Saturday and the last Saturday at that of the year. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. As we head into 2024, tomorrow is New Year's Eve, Sunday. Now, the city is going to be absolutely crazy for obvious reasons, right? We have the New Year's Rocking Eve that'll be taking place tomorrow in Times Square. What I would like to do tonight on the live stream, well, currently, I guess I'll tell you guys where we are. A little bit of a different location we're starting this stream off. We are directly outside of the Ed Koch Queensboro Bridge, so the 59th Street Bridge. We are quite literally sitting in the park across the street, watching all the cars pretty much enter the on-ramp to the bridge to head out to Queens. Also, this structure here is the Roosevelt Island Tramway. So I think in a couple minutes here, you'll be able to see the tram, the individuals that are boarding, and then that will take them over to Roosevelt Island. So really beautiful day, beautiful night. Temperatures dropped a little bit in Manhattan though. But regardless, what I want to do is venture into Times Square again. Now, I know we've done that on the past few live streams. We usually don't do that, but I want to do a behind the scenes stream. We do this every year, okay? If you were with us here at Walks on Wall Street last year, we did the exact same thing. We try to give the viewer a behind the scenes look, behind the scenes scoop on everything that's going to be happening tomorrow in Times Square. So when you're watching TV, you're watching the main, national broadcasts, you can kind of compare and contrast and see what it looks like on the ground floor the night before. So we will go ahead and do that. But before we start, obviously I won't spend too much time tonight on the financial topics, but I think it would be appropriate just to quickly recap where really financial markets ended the year, right? So I'll go ahead and pull up TradingView. Now, the S&P 500 ended the year at 4,769, okay? Now, year to date, the S&P returned 24.8%. A banner year for the S&P 500. Oh, that's the Roosevelt Island Tramway. You can kind of see it as it's just leaving the station there. So the market was up 24.8% this year, absolutely rocking. We'll take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, or the DJI. We'll go on a year-to-date time frame. The Dow closed the year at 37,689. Dow was up 13.74%. Let's look at the NASDAQ 100. Just for the sake of time, we'll look at the triple Qs, which is the Invesco QQQ NASDAQ 100 ETF. Year to date, The NASDAQ 100 rallied 54.8%. Unbelievable. I'll say that one more time. The NASDAQ was up 54.8% this year. The NASDAQ 100, that is. So an unreal year for the stock market, raging bull market across the board, despite, ladies and gentlemen, all of the craziness that has happened this year with banking crises, banking collapse, frauds blowing up all over the place. If you were to tell me, okay, go back in time and say, Tom, Silicon Valley Bank is going to collapse and cause mass contagion, okay, and the Federal Reserve is going to have to step in and essentially bail out the banks again. Well, technically not a bailout, but for lack of time, we'll use that term. Then you're going to have one of the largest Ponzi-style schemes since Bernie Madoff blow up, right, with the Sam Bankman-Fried sort of fraud. And despite all of that, put on top of that, raging wars in Eastern Europe between Russia and Ukraine, brutal, disgusting wars, senseless wars, right, with hundreds of thousands of people probably dying over there in the meat grinder. Then you have raging wars all over the Middle East now with the horrible terrorist attack that happened to Israel via Hamas, the terrorist organization, the scum. All that being said, the NASDAQ 100 is going to be up almost 55%. I would have told you you're crazy. But that's the beauty of the market, and that's why I love the financial markets so much, because the most unlikely outcomes, the most unlikely scenarios are usually the outcomes. The market is designed to fool the majority of people the majority of the time. What can we say? All right, everybody. Last thing on the agenda, I did last Thursday, okay? I sent out the final copy, the final edition of the Behind the Street newsletter, which is our free research piece we send out to the team here every other Thursday, right at the closing bell. We cover global macro, we cover US equities, we cover fixed income, and we cover real estate. So if you have not received that, as we look at the Roosevelt Island tramway coming across the bridge, check your email, and if you want to sign up to receive all of our free equity research in 2024, go ahead and scan the QR code on your screen or type !news, NEWS, in the chat, and the Nightbot will drop the link to our Substack. Again, every other Thursday after the market closes, I personally write a free equity research piece for everybody to keep you up to date on the market. So I'll go ahead and close up the laptop here. I'll say hello to everybody in the chat, and we will get the stream started as we head from 59th Street Bridge to Times Square. Give me a minute. Thanks for joining, everybody. All right, let's see what we got here. You know, I'm very, very tempted to go on the Roosevelt Island tram or the trolley. I've actually never been on it. I'm not sure if many of you knew that, but I've been living here pretty much forever, and I've never been on it. It looks like a lot of fun. The views must be absolutely fantastic. Maybe we'll do that in 2024. I don't know. All right, more importantly, let's say hello to the team here. I see SME Media. Happy New Year to you. Lance, what is going on? Happy New Year. Sunshine after rain. Oscar is here. Marus, good to see you. Gary Carpenter, Long Island Duck 52. Happy New Year to you. Matt, Gary Carpenter, SME Media again. Western Mass Dave. What is up, sir? Thank you for joining us on this, you know, pretty cold Manhattan night. Temperature must have dropped at least 20 degrees since yesterday. I think it was 55 degrees in New York City. Norma says, hello, Tom. Love your channel from Chicago and very happy New Year. Thank you so much. Wishing you a very Happy New Year as well. This is called Tramway Plaza. I just found that out 3 seconds ago. So, pretty cool. All right, let's head out. Sal says, hey Tom, what's going on? Good to see you, Sal. Wishing you and your family a happy new year. Oscar says, Tom, what is the best pizza place in New York? I think it's a tough question to answer. I think this place on the Upper West Side of Manhattan called Made in New York Pizza is very good. Oh, hold on, so let me get rid of this person here. And you were gone. Dan Zhang says, Tom, I feel like you're gonna be thirsty tonight after the Maltang. You know, that place was good. So Dan Sang, one of our moderators, sort of like a Chinese dish. It's like a very spicy soup. Very good, by the way. So I went to this place on Mott Street. It was good, but I think some of the places in Flushing are a little bit better, in my opinion. I think, Dan, you'd probably agree with that. But it was cool to kind of go and see it and check it out. I had no idea that that was the best, or I would say the most well-known and most popular Maltang place in China. That's now opened right here in Chinatown in New York City. Right across the street from 567 New Shanghai Restaurant, which is my personal favorite. It was good. Jeff in Southern Tier, New York. What's up, Jeff? Happy New Year to you. You know, and the other night, last night, obviously we did our live stream a little bit earlier in the day. We went all the way from Dumbo, Brooklyn, over the Manhattan Bridge, which the view was really insane. The sunset view over the Manhattan Bridge last night was really stunning, really, really breathtaking. So if you want to check out that stream we did last night, go ahead. But I went to a dinner last night, which was very good. But before that, I actually went to this museum. Now, I forget the name of it, but I would recommend it. The museum was very, very close to the High Line and Chelsea Market. It was a modern art museum, and highly, highly recommended. Highly recommended. It's a very fun place, and one of the exhibits, I guess, on one of the floors, I don't know if it was art. I don't know, I really didn't understand it, but the art is candy, which you could eat. So you're able to pick up a piece of the candy and have one, which is kind of cool. And the views were insane. They were amazing. The views from this modern art museum right near Chelsea Market. So check it out. It was awesome. Ah, Deborah, yeah, the Whitney, that's what it was. The Whitney Museum. It was awesome. Loved that. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. And I think it's only like $1 to go into, right? As opposed to some of the other museums in Manhattan that are like 25, 30 bucks. The Whitney was $1, I think. Anyway, we are now standing directly outside Bloomberg's headquarters. Very unique building. At the very end, that's actually where they have the Bloomberg studios there. Yes, SME Media, it was very cool. If you ever come back to New York City, that's definitely something that you need to check out. Although, I was only in there for like an hour and a half, and there's no way you could really see everything within that hour and a half. You really got to you know, take your time, I guess. Oh, Deborah says maybe you went to a different museum. The Whitney is more expensive. I don't know. Somebody else got me tickets and they said it was $1. They could have been lying. I don't know. How much is it, by the way, in the Whitney Museum? Rex A is here, what's up? Says, have you ever tried Nolita Pizza Place? I've heard of it, but I've never had it. Heard of it, but I've never had it. Thanks for joining tonight. Rex, we are right outside of Bloomingdale's. Very famous department store here in Manhattan. So we're crossing Lexington Avenue, headed west. But Chinatown was absolutely packed today. There was so many people out in the city. Hey, Manhattan says the happiest thing I ever did is move to NYC. Love that. Yeah, it's a great city. You're never gonna get bored here for sure. There's always something to do. It's pretty much impossible to get bored here. Deborah says the Whitney is $18 to $25, but Friday night is free, so maybe that was that. Well, yeah, I went yesterday, so maybe it was free. Yeah, cool museum. I like it. Democracy Forever says museums here close around 5 to 7 p.m. at the latest, so I'm impressed with the museum open later. Yeah, I think it was open till 10 o'clock, I want to say, or 9 o'clock. Rick Kelly says Happy New Year. What's up, Rick? Michelle K is joining us. And T-Cal, as well as Hawaii. What's up, Hawaii? Good to see you. We started today's stream right at the 59th Street Bridge. But right as we approach Park Avenue right here, this is one of my favorite angles to have an amazing view of 432 Park. Look at this. Crazy view, right? This building has really grown on me over the years. Love 432 Park Avenue. Stephanie Gray says Happy New Year, Tom. What's up, Stephanie? Thank you so much. William says, hey, Tom. What's going on? Meryl says, oh. All right, Kathy Lyons, what's going on? All right, let's pick up the pace a little bit. I want to get you all to Times Square. We'll check out all the action. We'll see probably all the stages are totally completely built now. NBA Elias, what's up? NBA Elias, at the beginning of the stream, we were talking about how the NASDAQ 100 this year up over 54%. Kind of crazy to think about that. 54%. What a wild, wild year. This is East 58th Street and Park Avenue. And you could look all the way down 58th and you can see Steinway Tower, 157 Central Park Tower, and 220 Central Park South. All of the main buildings on New York City's Billionaires Row. Michael Joseph says S&P 500 up 24% this year. Yeah, amazing, amazing, amazing year, right? Now, studies, and data shows that equities will generally always beat fixed income, right? But it was also nice to know that this year, savers, right? So if you held cash in a cash account or in a money market, you're gonna get a real rate of return, right? In the investment business, we talk about real rates of return, and then we talk about nominal rates. What's most important is a real rate of return, which is essentially the rate of return factoring in inflation. So with 5% interest, right, on a money market account, so if you go into like your Charles Schwab, Interactive Brokers, or whatever broker dealer you have, and if you had your cash sitting in a money market, essentially at 5%, you're making a real rate of return. right? If CPI, inflation, right? The headline number is right around 3.1%. For the first time in a really, really, really long time, we have positive real rates of return again, as opposed to essentially negative real rates due to the Federal Reserve leaving interest rates artificially suppressed. So, yeah, I mean, it's been good all around, but it's been particularly good for people who bought the dip in the bond market in Q4, right? I mean, look at this rip-roaring rally in the bond market we've had as rates have come down a little bit and bond prices have been soaring. All right, here's another very cool view at 432 Park Avenue. This is a view from the northernmost side of the building, walking down 57th Street, Billionaires Row. Look at this. Hey, Mary says, good evening, Tom. Wishing you a happy, healthy, and very successful 2024. Well, thank you, Mary. I wish you the exact same and more this new year. I appreciate the well wishes. It's kind of crazy standing directly under it. It is really a wild market. SME Media says it appears the CD and money market rates will start going down slowly but surely, probably, right? Now, at the last FOMC meeting of the year, right, in December, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell decided to keep the Fed funds rate unchanged. And he came off a little bit dovish in his speech. So the market started to price in interest rate cuts for 2024. Now, real quick, I want to point out this building. We always see it from a different angle, but this building is 425 Park Avenue. This is one of the newest and most desirable Class A office towers in New York City. It is the temporary headquarters of Citadel Securities, as well as Citadel, right? The market-making division in the hedge fund business. But come 2024, we are actually going to have additional competition between 270 Park Avenue, which is Jamie Dimon's brand new office tower, because Citadel is going to build their own. So Park Avenue is going to get a lot of new product as we move further into 2024. It's kind of cool. Another update, I would say a New York City exclusive update for 2024. You guys see this hotel? This is, well, I should say this was one of the most luxurious and sought after hotels in New York City. This is the Four Seasons Hotel right here on Billionaires Row. Now, unfortunately, due to the pandemic, this has been closed down since 2020. So 4 years later, here we go. Look at this. 4 years later, this hotel will finally be opening up yet again. It's been completely vacant until next year. That's good news. You can kind of see it's really fallen into disrepair. Hotel and resorts, luxury retail space available. Inquire at these two contacts. You have all this nice graffiti here right on Billionaires Row as they open up and charge people $1,000 a night. Pretty cool. Hey, NBA Elias, Tom, the easing of financial conditions through 2024 will be the key driver to further stock market gains. Corporate capex should also recover. Now, maybe, but I also look at it from this angle too. And, you know, we know that the market is usually forward looking by 6 months. So could the majority of the gains here be priced in? I think 2024 prices could potentially be already priced in here, but to NBA Elias's point, if you go to a weekly time frame of the S&P 500, the Dow, or the NASDAQ, right, all three major equity indices in the United States, you know, we've been in a very, very severe bear market, both in terms of duration, right, so time, and price. right? Some corrections in the market are heavy on price, and some corrections in the market or bear markets are heavy on duration, right? We've really had both. I mean, the drawdowns have been quite severe. I mean, if you think about, you know, from peak to trough, the NASDAQ specifically, I think was down over 30%. So if you have the major equity indices down 30%, right? Think about what some of the individual stocks are down, because you got to understand beta, you know, beta weighting a portfolio. So if a stock has a really high beta and the S&P 500 is down 1% on the day, well, that individual stock could very well be down, you know, 5, 6, even 10% on the day. So throughout 2022, right, the market rolled over 2021, the latter half. I mean, we saw some of these higher beta SaaS companies, right, growth stocks, get pummeled, you know, down 75, 80%. So, you know, going back to the original point, if you look at where the market topped and where it is today, we've essentially been building out over a 2-year base. And if we break out in the new high territory, which we've already done on the Dow and in the NASDAQ, we've yet to reach a new all-time record high on the S&P. You know, the measured move on that is significantly higher. So we'll see. We'll see. However, going into an election year, usually returns are rather muted in an election year. The first year and the second year are usually the best for returns, but we'll be breaking that down and writing about it as well. I always like this building. The facade is very nicely decorated. I believe this is the Chanel building. What do you guys think? Hey, Sabrina Fair, what's up? Happy New Year. Good to see you. Jonathan from Florida is here. What's up, Jonathan? Happy New Year to you and your family. And thank you, by the way, for your very generous gift. I actually have the calendar quite literally hanging up at my desk right here, right on the corner, 575 Madison Avenue. It's there. So thank you, sir, for that. I appreciate it very, very much. Hey, Sharon, says evening, Tom. Good to see you. Hope we're looking forward to 2024. Oh yeah, for sure. I think 2024 is going to be a big breakout year for all of us. I mean, the opportunity ahead of us is really insane. So I think it's going to be a big year. I think a big year for you too, Sharon, right? You're starting your new job here. Charles Schwab, I believe you said, which is great. Great firm to work at. All right, everybody. So if you notice, we are now in the main intersection, 5th Avenue and 57th Street. And it appears that the Louis Vuitton store has taken down the holiday display and maybe put up a New Year's Eve style display. What do you think? It kind of resembles like the ball maybe that they drop in Times Square. I can see a little bit of a resemblance, but who knows? Yeah, Cody says wind looks chilly tonight. It's very windy, particularly on 57th Street. The wind is crazy, and it is very cold and frigid out tonight. Hey, Sam Plays, thank you so much for your 5 New Zealands. Thank you for streaming this year, and God bless you. Happy New Year. Well, thank you, sir, for supporting the live stream this year. We really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. This is a pretty cool shot. You have the snowflake here, and then all the way in the back you have that Steinway Tower, which is cool. And then this is looking down Fifth Avenue southbound. Obviously, we are standing right outside the brand new Tiffany building. They did about a $500 million renovation here. Holy crap, look at that. This is a huge rock. I wonder if that's real. What do you guys think? That thing is massive.
That's the ring I'm gonna get my wife.
That's wild, right? Cabby says, I heard most of those luxury apartments are just bonds for rich people, not really meant to sell or occupy. I think there's a little bit of truth to that, but I think it's a lot of it is a little bit overblown. Now, the very, very trophy apartments, right? The ones that are like 80, 90, $100 million, those are really not primary residences, right? They're essentially used as piggy banks in the sky, so to speak, right? And particularly for foreign nationals, right, that are very wealthy. You know, if you can, you know, try to shuffle some of your assets across the world, right, to try to escape inflation in your, you know, home country's currency, well then, you know, to park $80 million in an apartment in New York City that's going to sit 80 stories above Manhattan, well, nobody's going to touch it, nobody's going to mess it up, and when you need to sell it, you know, you just get the money again. So yeah, I mean, a lot of, I would say, very wealthy people, also from countries like, look what happened this year in Russia, right? When the war broke out, everybody was getting sanctioned like crazy. Everybody, and even some very wealthy Russians were trying to get their money out of Russia, right? You're seeing that in China right now. There's a lot of wealthy Chinese trying to get their money out of China. Sometimes these purchases are a form of a way to do that. Michelle K, thank you so much for your very generous $20 donation. So I hope you have a blessed and happy new year. Thank you, Michelle. I'm wishing the same for you. And thank you for supporting the live streams this year. We're happy to have you here. Roman says, greetings from Ukraine. What's up, Roman? We are standing directly outside of Trump Tower. This is open to the public from the hours of 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Just let me make sure I have my thing. So a quick intermission here. All right, let's continue down, because I think I forgot my charger again today. So we'll walk directly down Fifth Avenue until about 42nd. You know what? I gotta take you guys on a little field trip. I apologize for this, but I gotta take a pit stop at the office. Hopefully, it'll be a fun field trip. Don't worry about it. Because I just need this to get back. I gotta get a different train tonight. All right, quick pit stop at the office. Okay, and then we will head back down. Now, I think there's probably going to be a lot of people in and around Times Square, so hopefully we don't buffer a lot. We'll do our best. We'll see. All right. We're just gonna buffer a little bit in the elevator. Long Island Ducks' Trump Tower probably charges you to use the restroom. No, they don't. They're nice restrooms, by the way. Hey. All right, I think we should be good. All right, everybody, I have to do something really quick, but then we will jump right back on the stream. I just got to take this phone call for 3 seconds, and then we will start a new live stream in about 10 minutes. So I will see you guys in about 10 minutes.